90+5 podcasts. I remain your host, Tunji, and I'm here with my co-host, Mekus.
Hello guys, welcome back to the pod.
Yeah. So on today, we would begin the first round of our World Cup review special episodes, and we would be starting with the first round of games. As of the time of recording, we are currently in Group I, so we would be reviewing from matches from Group A to Group I. So just hang in there and enjoy our reviews and our analysis. Okay, Mekus, we can get started now. The opening match, Mexico-South Africa. Did that match deliver? Did that match deliver what you expected? First things first, starting from the opening performance, Burna Boy, Shakira, to the game itself. 3 red cards in one game, and the performance of Mexico in home soil.
I think what I wanted from that match and I got was Mexico scoring. And I don't know if listeners can remember the last episode we had our predictions, and I was like, I would just like to see Mexico score and they reproduce that famous celebration from the 2010 World Cup. If you can remember the whole dance, I mean, it was a very, very huge celebration. And they did it. My annoyance is that the guy that scored, he was the only one that did it, and the other guys were not in sync. It was shit, man.
Seems like the other guys didn't get the memo
at all. I thought my own is that I thought they had this, because I mean it's the perfect revenge. Do you understand? The same scenario. South Africa was on home soil. Mexico are now in home soil. It's the first match of the World Cup. This is the first month of the World Cup. It should have been something that they would have had planned and make that iconic celebration again. Instead of doing their dance, they can do that, maybe their samba dance or something. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. And for me, I think what I'm going to do is that right now, not all African teams have played. From what I can see, Ghana hasn't played. Yeah. Okay, let me see. DR Congo hasn't played. Algeria hasn't played. But to be honest, from what I've seen so far, South Africa is the worst African team in this tournament.
Honestly speaking.
Because first things first, they were horrendous. They were bad, terrible, playing out from the back. You know, the first goal that Quinones scored was as a result of an error from South Africa trying to play out from the back. And even the second goal, you can see that they were just totally disoriented. And, in comparison with other African countries, I think the only African countries that has fared worse than South Africa, in my opinion, right now is Tunisia. And I think I'll take that back. Tunisia is the worst African country so far right now. Yeah, so, but they didn't have organization. They were just all over the place. When I compare this with, performances from even Senegal lost 3-1, but you can still see that there's some sort of like organization. Yeah. Cape Verde, you can see that they were willing, they could pass the ball to each other. They could move the ball. They could,
at least structural shape.
They had a structural shape, yeah. But it seems like South African team just came to just vibes and inshallah. But we must give credit to Mexico. We must really give credit to them. I didn't know they had this in them, really. I thought it was going to be a really, really tight one, a tighter one, maybe like a draw for that first match. But we must really give it to Mexico for their performance. And Raul Jimenez, big player. About 4-5 years ago, he broke his face, and glad to see him at the top of his game right now,
Yeah.
playing for the country, his country. So the next game was South Africa, Czech Republic.
Is it
Personally,
South
right?
Africa?
South
Korea, Czech Republic.
South Korea. Yes, pardon me. So personally, I predicted South Korea to win this game, but also looking at the team, you can see that some of the older figures they're slowly phasing out, like the Heung-min Sons that we know that used to like literally take the team or lift the team. You know, you can see him being lifted by other players right now, like the Kingan Lee, the Hu Yin Bom, and the likes. And Czech Republic really didn't have anything much to offer in this game. Some of their top players like Sushek, Patrick Schick, they didn't really bring much to the table. But I don't know, what's your thoughts? Were you able to watch it? Personally, I didn't. It was at an odd hour on my end, but I was able to take a look at the highlight.
Yeah.
But what are your
Yeah, I
thoughts?
think it was highlights for me. I mean, it's just an ungodly hour for people in Africa, for Europe, and every other person apart from Asia and Americans who love this. Again, it was the highlights. I already did estimate South Korea to be very, very strong in this World Cup. I don't think I made the mistake of underestimating them. And I mean, they just showed why. They showed why. Alongside with Japan, there are just some teams like I said that they know how to play the World Cup. They are not there for
Yeah.
fancy football. They are not there for intricate passes, but you see that result, they will gather it for you. And I think it's all deserved from
Yeah.
South Korea.
Yeah. So moving on to the next game, we have Canada, Bosnia Herzegovina. This was the second opening match, as Canada happens to be a host, or should I call them the hosts of this World Cup, alongside US and Mexico, and it was an entertaining opener as well. From this, I predicted a straight draw from the beginning of the match. I knew both teams were not able to pull out a win. They would not be able to pull out that string of results from this game. Now, what got me interested here is that Canada actually tried to put a fight on home soil, but there's just something about these, should I call them the Viking nations, like the Bosnia, the Serbians, the Norwegians. They know how to score. Like, they must put the ball at the back of the net, no matter what the situation is, right? Yeah. But what are your thoughts on this? And do you see Canada or Bosnia improving from this after this game?
I mean, I do see a lot of room for improvement for Canada. The substitutions they made in the halftime really helped. I did watch the game, not fully, but then I completed it with highlights. I think that Canada on the day should have won. I think Bosnia came up with literally all they had, and at 1-1, it could have gone anyway. But I just felt like Canada overall should have won this game. Bosnia and Herzegovina really impressed me because I remember saying in the pre train that one thing that I don't trust about Bosnia and Herzegovina is that, I mean, they came through the back door, quote unquote, but they showed against Canada that they are here to stay as much as long as they can. And so, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's look at the other game that happened in that group, Switzerland, Qatar. Personally, this match pained me. There are some emotions involved in this game because I actually predicted for Switzerland to win, and they scored an early goal, perfect start, Mbolo, and they dominated this game till the 90th minute. Only for them to just let it slip up in the 90+4 minutes to Qatar. And Qatar were able to pick a point. I was so mad. Like, I couldn't understand what I was seeing because do you know this kind of games whereby you see it being 1-0 and you're like, why has the second goal not come in? Yeah, that's the kind of game this game was. Why has the second goal not come in? Why has the second goal not come in? These guys have chances. Why has it not come in? Why has it not come in? Till the lead wasn't there anymore. And big shout out to the Qatari team. They put their blood on the line. They were able to take advantage of the opportunities they had. The beautiful thing, Mekus, and I was mentioning it to my friend earlier, that this World Cup, I love it for one thing, right? Like, there are no small team, like there's nothing like small team mentality. I think the only country with a small team mentality was South Africa. Really, was South Africa that I've watched so far. Like, other small countries, quote and unquote, they are coming in, putting a fight. They are putting a fight. They are trying to hold the ball. They are trying to score. They are trying to be positive on the pitch, right? So I think probably it might just be that this is the first round and that whole initial euphoria is still there. But especially these Asian sides, they are really, really living up to the hype. They are really living up to the hype. Qatar, Japan, South Korea, Iran. I think probably Iraq might be the first loss for the Asian side. So, but what are your thoughts from this game before we move on to the next?
Like you said, it was a game that was screaming for a second goal. A second goal from Switzerland. I remember watching this game because it was in the earlier hours, and in my mind I was like, Switzerland should just find a way to get this other goal, because typically, and I mean it has worked several times, if you do not if you do not kill off your team or kill off games, it will come back to haunt you. And I think that's what the code did. It's the 90+4 minutes Qatar just came, and they deserve it, to be honest. If you watch the game,
Yeah, they did.
you see that they did
deserve
play
it.
well. The stats are showing something, but those that watch the live game will understand that Qatar did deserve the 1 point. So
Yeah, well said. So moving on to the next group, Group C, Brazil, Morocco. This game, man, I think I don't know what to say, man. It was an entertaining one, but I am utterly disappointed. Is this what Brazil wants to bring to the table? Like, is this the Brazil? Is this really the Brazil? Because this team I saw play against Morocco, they shouldn't even leave the group stage. The Brazil team shouldn't leave the group stage with their performance against Morocco. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. If in the next match I see Igor Thiago, if in the next match I see Paqueta, if in the next match I see Igor Thiago, Paqueta, and who else had a stinker in that last match? Casemiro. If I see those three people in the next match, then I know that Ancelotti doesn't know what he's doing. Those guys had a stinker. Brazil were not able to create anything from the middle. They were not able to dominate the middle. They just relied on individual brilliance. And individual brilliance doesn't win you the World Cup. Individual brilliance doesn't even take you to the round of 16. And big ups to the Moroccan team. You know, they came with their full arsenal. You know, shout out to the youngster, Buadi. He really, really dominated the midfield in the first half. Not so much in the second half, but majorly the first half. The likes of Hakimi was applying constant pressure along in the right flank, you know, against I'm trying to remember the Brazilian left back, Santos. You know, that guy was totally lost, you know, so Mekus, I know we don't want to waste time on the pod today, but, you know, growing up watching Brazil, I grew up with watching Marcelo and Daniel Alves, left back, right back. But now I'm seeing Santos and Ibanez. Like, what is this? No shades. I'm not trying to throw any shades here, but like, this is not the quality that we grew up watching in the Brazil team. But I think, let me give it to you. What are your thoughts from this game? And Mekus, don't forget, you know, you mentioned something about this group, that this draw might actually be the best
for Scotland
result for Scotland. Yeah, you mentioned it, and it happened exactly. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying that this game had a lot of ripple effect in the group and World Cup at large. First one, like you mentioned, is the draw that Scotland was able to get. I mean, they finished. They right now they're first because they won their game. There's also a potential for a hiccup, and so it's best to have that game in hand. It's best to have that game in hand for Brazil themselves. It's just so, like you said, is a wow moment because this decline has been happening for a while. Up until now, they have been solely dependent on Neymar, which they are right now, which is funny. But there's only so much a man can do. And I think that we have to give Morocco credit, to be honest. Like you said, they played a wonderful game. But there's an extent to which, what's the word? They can keep wishing and hoping, because at this point in time now, you talked about Paqueta, you talked about Casemiro, you talked about Ikotido. these are the players now. Brazil have to read them. Vinicius was good, but not to even go in depth. I just think that Brazil, we need to make a decision soon. And if they really want to win this World Cup, there are a lot of things they have to change. A lot of things.
I think the only thing I'll just rephrase on what you just said is, you know, if they even want to qualify from this group stage,
Exactly,
they need to, because winning the World Cup is a long shot. All right, just to touch upon Scotland-Haiti, that match ended 1-0. John McGinn scored that goal. And I think nothing really much here. We touched upon it as well. They took advantage of the opportunity, because if they hadn't gotten that 3 point against Haiti, I don't think there's any way out for them in this group.
Yeah, true.
Given that we have Brazil and Morocco also in the group. So, you know, what they just need to be looking out for is just a draw against Morocco in their next match. I think Morocco is their next match. And with that, they should be able to qualify for the round of 32. But moving on to Group D, we have the big match there, USA Paraguay. Mekus, when, you know, if you watched USA Paraguay for the first time without seeing the teams playing, I think you can easily mistake the USA team for the Spanish 2010 team. They were that, you know, they were that silky. They were silky with the ball. They were, you know, the movement was so precise. They were so they commanded the atmosphere. Like, it was, in short, they came to this game to Orafam, and that was really a statement for the host of this World Cup. Really, I was impressed by our, fellow compatriots, Folarin Balogun,
Yeah.
with the brace, Captain America, Pulisic, always rising up to the occasion. He had an assist in that game, and Dest as well, McKennie, really their top players showed up, and they made a statement to win. And this, from what I saw, you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is like the first time US is ever scoring 4 goals in a World Cup game. Like, playing, like, that's never happened before. And it's lovely. It's happening in their home turf. And whatever Pochettino is cooking there, he should just keep on cooking. He should keep on cooking. But really what I would say is that I love how slicky they were with the ball, and how the movements were, the passes, the counter attacks, the movement into the box was just so sharp and so fast that Paraguay couldn't just resist. But what are your thoughts?
I think USA really surprising. That's the word. Like you said, if you had not watched football before, you would think that the USA were PSG, and I think it's all credit goes to Pochettino. And I don't want to over stress the win because it's the first game. They will definitely get to round of 32 as it stands right now. But it's just everything that you would have hoped for as a US citizen. I mean, they started with energy. They really took the game to their opponents, and I think, just to summarize, it was well done. It was well done by them.
Yeah,
They
it was.
deserve that.
Yeah, yeah. You really, really have to give it to them on that, and no taking that away from them. I think Paraguay tried to put in a fight, but it just wasn't. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough at all. So, the next team we have on that group is Australia, Turkey. So, this is one game that a lot of hype has gone into this Turkey side, given Adagula, and I think the talents, they have some rising talents in the Turkey side, but apparently we didn't see those guys rise to the occasion, in this game. I don't know, what are your thoughts? Were you able to watch the match as much?
I don't think I watched the match, but I like a lot of people thought Turkey were going to be the dark horses, but
No, I think these horses are very bright.
these horses are very, very bright. I won't lie. I didn't watch the game.
Okay. Okay. So let's just, basically pay close attention to these guys and see what happens in this group. But at the stand of things right now, Turkey needs to win their next match. They need to win their next match. If not, they will struggle to find it out of this group. Moving on to Group E. Let's get back. I think we should be taking hydration breaks, just like the way
You should be taking hydration
breaks. All right. So the next game is Germany Curacao. I think this game ended just the way some of us predicted it. But like I said, Curacao, like, if you watch the first half of this game without watching the second half, you would think that this was a close match. Like,
Yeah.
it was really, really close. Like, Germany didn't do as much. I think the first half ended 3-1, but Curacao with the first goal really brought in a lot of energy, and they decided, knocking on the door and asking some tough questions, but the German team responded those questions with very brutal responses in the second half. But what are your thoughts, Mekus?
Yeah, the Curacao Germany game, I think immediately as I started scoring 3-4, I told pressure deciding that this must get to 6. I must get to 7. And sure enough, it did. I would just like to say, like, good ups to Curacao for scoring the first champion. Sorry, the first Champions League, first World Cup goal.
World Cup?
But it was always going to be a long shot for
Yeah.
for them. I just think that Germany is massively overlooked, by myself included. And I think that they might just be.
Nah. I disagree. The German team with the 7 goals, they weren't still convincing to me. If this German team meet a test like Spain or a France, they won't be able to pass the test. Or even a Morocco, I don't think this Germany team will be able to pass that test.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. We agree to disagree. But yeah.
I think the midfield is very, very shaky. Pavlovic and Dumecha, it's I can't see anything, and I can't see that holding a strong opponent. I can't see that. But let's see. I think like you said, we agree to disagree on that, and time will tell. The next team we have on that group is Cote d'Ivoire, Ecuador. Man, I must say, for this Cote d'Ivoire, Ecuador, I must say, leave the game before the game leaves you. And Valencia, leave the game before the game leaves you. Because the game has left you. We can see the game has left you. But you don't want to leave the game. Please, leave. Because I don't understand why you be hitting the bar twice or 3 times, and clear-cut chances, he couldn't just convert there. Ecuador should have sealed this match in the first half with 2 clean goals, 2 clear-cut chances to score on goal, but they decided to leave the game in to the 90th minute, where Amad Diallo just have converted the opportunity and gave Africa our first 3 points of the tournament. I think we need to ring a bell for this milestone. Yeah, but Mekus, what are your thoughts on Cote d'Ivoire?
I like what I was seeing from Cote d'Ivoire. I think apart from Senegal this evening, I think Cote d'Ivoire, I mean, of course, Morocco is there, but because of the amount of sheer exports, so that's why it's not, it doesn't feel the same. Cote d'Ivoire were basically from Cote d'Ivoire, right in Cote d'Ivoire, and yeah. But away from that, I think that there's still a lot we can see from Cote d'Ivoire. There's still a lot for them to handle. And the thing about this World Cup generally is that you don't want to pick too early. You do not want to pick too early, because once you pick, there is an evident follow-up, and I hope that he has learned the lesson from previous World Cups, and they can just be level-headed and say, okay, this is just a win. Let's go again in the next match day.
Yeah. I agree with you, because really, just like I said for Australia as well, they just need to pick. The Cote d'Ivoire team just needs to pick a point in the next game to guarantee them in a place in the round of 32. So moving on to Group F. Netherlands, Japan. This match ended 2-2. This was a very, very close match. So close. All the 4 goals came in the second half. Now, the first goal came from Virgil van Dijk, top guy. And then Japan equalized. The second goal came from Somerville, and Japan equalized again. making it 2-2. Is this what you expected from Netherlands? Let's start from there.
This is what I expected from Netherlands. No, no, it isn't. No, it wasn't. I'm just reminding again, they played against who?
Japan.
Japan. Yeah.
Japan.
Well, I didn't. So let me put it this way: I expected Japan to put up a fight, and so I'm very excited with what I saw because
But Japan doesn't really have any talisman this time around. Just Kubo.
exactly.
You know, most of their top players are out injured. The Mitomas, the Wataru Endo, the what's his name? Minamino.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But that's the thing, and that's what makes Japan special is that it's all about the collective for them. It's all about the collectives, and that's why they will always strive in any World Cup because they have their collectives. They have the collectives rather. Yeah.
All right. All right. Okay, let's see. Some players also impressed me from this Japan game. The keeper, Suzuki. Also, their right centre back, Watanabe, was also impressive as well in this game. But one thing I can say is that Netherlands is not going far. And I don't think they are going to go past the quarterfinals or round of 16 because their front line is like a. Okay, so let me explain to you the way the Netherlands team is being structured right now. It's like a gun, right? It's like a gun loaded with bullets, right? But the should I say the outlet is so weak. Maybe the outlet is made of plastic, right? That when the fire comes in from the back to the front just cannot take it and it will break. All I'm trying to say is that Netherlands has a very strong defense, has a very strong midfield, but their front line is garbage. I think we can even switch Netherlands front line with Nigerian front line, and I think all our starters from the Nigerian front line can start in this Netherlands front line team. In this Netherlands team, I think so. Please don't come for me, the Dutch fans. All right. Moving on. I think we are good to move on to Group G. No, we can't move on to Group G because we've not spoken about Sweden. My boys, like, did you watch the Sweden match?
No, that was one of my
that Isak Gyökeres assist. Isak assisting Gyökeres is just, that was out of this world, man. It was crazy. Like, it was something that something that I never saw coming, But Graham Potter has cooked. He has cooked in this with this Sweden team, and it's so nice to see them winning. For me, as a Liverpool fan, it's so nice to see Isak, see him fit, on form.
Yeah.
Enjoying the game as just the way he loves it. Also, Gyökeres as well, enjoying the game and having an amazing game. And interesting to see after the like I said, Tunisia, they are just like, I think there are people they call dark horse, but for me there are also some people that we call ghosts. they are like the ghost of the competition for me. Like there's no hype coming from them. There's no top player that is being talked about. They don't have as much story. Maybe like a small country. They are not a small country. They don't have, like, there's nothing interesting about Tunisia, to be honest. Like, I'm not, no offense intended, but they just sacked their coach, and probably that's the only history they're going to make in this competition, being the first country to sack their coach twice during the World Cup. So, yeah, let's see what the new coach is going to bring. He's this former Saudi Arabian coach. Yes. So maybe he might turn things around in the next game. Don't underestimate what the man on white in the touchline can bring to the table. All right, moving on to Group G. Group G, right? Not G is after F, right? So I think that's G. Belgium, Egypt. I think both teams are on the same level right now, as far as I'm concerned. The distance between both teams is not so much. Belgium is not really, they are not really in their golden generation. I think this is like more like a I don't know, I can't call them a silver generation or bronze or plastic, I don't know, but
their glory days have passed.
Their glory days have passed. We have Kevin De Bruyne in his twilight years. We have Lukaku in his twilight years. We are seeing players like Doku, who, they run like headless chickens, just run, no output. Trossard as well. These are players that are known not to be able to, give you output in games. Egypt, yesterday was Salah's birthday. Happy birthday to the GOAT, to a legend. But seeing him give an assist on his birthday was just something soothing for the eye to see. But Mekus, what are your thoughts on this game? Egypt really brought a fight. They were top for me. But what are your thoughts?
Where do I even start from? I think just writing on what you said, I think this Belgium team are by far past their best. And whatever they're producing now is just a residue of a lot of old players. I mean, it is. Let me not even go. Well, they got what they deserve. That's all I would just say. They got what they deserved. And I'm tired. I'm really tired of the whole rhetoric behind Belgium every World Cup. Everybody's waiting for for them to do something, but they can't and they won't. And so, yeah, I think, like you said, very much like, you were talking about Turkey, Tunisia, very much like that. I think Belgium, they might go through the group stage, but the round of 32, I think we'll begin to see the wheat from the shaft, and they will definitely be sifted out.
All right. So just before we move on to Group H, we also have New Zealand and Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting one here, just the emotion. Iran is currently at war, having them play the game. And really, I love the fact that they brought in a fight.
Yeah.
Right? They brought in a fight. They played well. Right? And New Zealand also, they also impressed me as well. They are not one to impress in competitions like this, but they played well. And we have like Chris Wood. Chris Wood is like their talisman there, but he didn't really do as much. But he provided 2 assists for the scorer. So we also need to give him his kudos right there. But Mekus, I think this is the main topic of the game of today's podcast. Group H, Spain, Cape Verde. Mekus, I think I have a confession to make on this podcast.
What was the confession?
I think I need to get to Cape Verde as soon as possible.
Oh my brother!
I need to get to Cape Verde quickly.
Immediate alacrity.
I don't know. No time to waste time, please. I think that is my country. That is my God sense. Let's not digress too much. I love Cape Verde. I love everything about Cape Verde. I love their culture. I love everything. I love their
football too.
I love their women. If that's what you want to hear, I love everything. I love it all. I love it all. But like they brought a fight. With their keeper winning the man of the match, Vozinha. This is the first time. Let's not all act as if we know him from somebody somewhere. No. We've never seen his face before. This is the first time Vozinha, we're having him play. I think from the start, he made about 5 saves. Yes, the critical saves. And we can say that Spain didn't come with their big guns, like Lamine Yamal and the Nico Williams didn't start. Where we're seeing players like Gavi start on the left wing. He later inverted as well, playing more like a 10, kind of role. Ferran Torres was the lowest rated match this match. Lowest rated player this match. He was nowhere to be found, really. I think he was out of position as well. And I think the major thing here for me is Real Madrid, they are just so petty. Like, I don't understand that club. Like, this guy just, they come your club. You don't, they post up.
Don't do...
Like, did you sign Cucurella because no, let's not just get into club football, but Cucurella actually had a good game.
Yeah.
Cucurella had a good game, but, unfortunately, they were not able to convert. And Mekus, before we move on to the other teams in Group H, and we then close with Group I. Mekus, this has been some of my concerns about Spain. There is no talisman, there's no front guy, because in this match, we can, praise Vozinha all we want, but the truth of the matter is that there was no top line to actually trouble them and give Vozinha that test. That tough test. There was no one. There was looking at the bench. There's no one. The other person is Merino, who is actually not a natural striker. So I think if they don't find a solution to goal scoring, really, maybe a Lamine Yamal or a Nico Williams, and they face a top country like France or Argentina, I think this might be a stumbling block for them. Really, it might just be the difference between France and them. Yeah. So, Mekus, final thoughts on this before we move on.
Yeah, that's very valid. On the Spain issue, I think that, like you said, there shouldn't be an excuse of Yamal or Nico Williams not starting. This is Cape Verde. No offense to Cape Verde, but this is Cape Verde. And the issue of talisman has never been the Spain way. You go back to when they even won it in 2010, I think. They have had good strikers. I mean, we had Fernando Torres, David Villa. Bro, those were not generational top nines. And they worked well when the team was working well. And so I think that what affected Spain against Cape Verde was some miscommunication and misorganization. And but they are going to bounce back definitely. But for Cape Verde, well, Tunji is coming to you very soon.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other fixture we had there was Uruguay, Saudi Arabia. And I was always my guy about this. I was expecting a whooping on Saudi Arabia, but he just pointed to me that, man, these Saudi Arabian players here are mostly from the Saudi Arabian League. And, with the whole improvement happening in the Saudi Arabian League, you should expect Saudi Arabia not to just lose easily, because there is rapid improvement happening in their country when it comes to football. So that would directly translate to what we have here in the World Cup. So, but I would love to see that put to a test against Spain, because if Spain cannot beat Saudi Arabia will definitely pick up a point against Cape Verde and get out of this group successfully. But I think only time will tell.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts there before we move on to Group I?
I always sit on Saudi Arabia.
Yes, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay.
Yeah, I think that Saudi has been cooking since the last World Cup. I think there's no surprise because they want to host the next one, I think.
I think the one after
The one after the next one.
the 2034.
Yeah. I do actually, I mean, I'm having something in my mind about Saudi Arabia because, like I said, they started something in the last World Cup. And I think with the money invested in their football, I think they can be a team that nobody wants to play. But let's see. Let's see. Saudi Arabia, I just feel like people to watch out. You just put them on your board as one of those teams to watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been confirmed. 2034
Yeah, 2044,
World Cup.
yeah.
They are the hosts. Yeah. So
2034.
2034.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So 2030 is Morocco, Portugal, Spain. So yeah.
Makes sense.
All right. Moving on, we have Group I. So in Group I, we had France, Senegal, and the match ended 3-1 with a brace from Kylian Mbappe. Let me confirm the third goal scorer here.
He was third goal scorer was the author.
Yeah, Bradley
was the
Barcola.
finisher himself. Bakola.
Yeah, Barcola. And a goal from Ibrahim Mbaye from Senegal. What are your thoughts from Senegal? And let's start with Senegal.
Yeah.
Senegal, the current African champions, quote and unquote.
On the field.
On the field champions. Yeah. Okay.
My takeaway from Senegal is they are a very, very good team. I don't know how good they think they are. I don't know how good people think they are, but they are better than what people think they are. I think the first half I was really impressed the way everything that happened in that half, they just seemed to want it and they got it their way. And what I mean by that is they wanted to see deep and counter, they did it. They wanted to try their hands, they did it. There are times they wanted to see deep, they did it. There are times that they wanted to be fast, they did it. I think that the France team were not ready for that kind of what's the word? They weren't ready for that kind of thing. And I'm just so happy that they showed to the world what they have been showing in AFCON and times to come. They are very, very good team. On France though, it's Mbappe, it's Olise. There's no surprise there. I think we need to start calling Mbappe Mr. World Cup.
Yeah, but Mekus, sometimes the final result doesn't tell the true story because Mbappe had his stinker in the first half. Yes, he had his stinker in the first half. Mbappe should have scored about 4 goals, but he was able to convert 2 at the end of the day. But yeah, we can call him Mr. World Cup. And as it stands, I think he needs just 1 goal to become the all-time World Cup goal scorer. Yeah. Let me confirm. Mario Klose World Cup record. Yeah, so Klose has scored 16 goals.
Mbappe has scored. I think
Mbappe has scored 14.
Oh, okay.
So plus the 2 he scored today. I think they divided the 2 he scored today. So he has scored 14 World Cup goals. I think Messi is on 13. So who's going to break the record in this World Cup? So Mbappe, with just 2 more goals, he ties the record. With Messi with 3 more goals, he ties the record. So yeah, let's see. The next game we had here is Norway, Iraq. Haaland. That boy is something else. Brace 2 from Haaland. So Mbappe, Haaland, the Golden Boot race has started before Harry Kane even got a chance to play. Yeah. So with Balogun and I think Kai Havertz as well. It's a bunch of players now, but by the round of 16, boys will be separated from men, or men will be separated from boys.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But what are your thoughts on Norway, Iraq? The match ended 4-1.
Yeah, it just ended now at the time of recording.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so happy for Norway. I don't know why. I think it's partially because they had to really dig deep to qualify, and they won't take that for granted. And partially because you have Haaland there, and he makes things happen. That's the thing about Haaland. In a Norwegian shirt, he doesn't hide. He doesn't hide, and I think that. I mean, I just think that Norway are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, time will tell, but I think there's a gem there. There's a gem there.
Okay. As at the time of recording, Argentina is yet to play. They'll be playing in the next 1 hour. Portugal is yet to play. England is yet to play. Ghana is yet to play. So a lot of games still to watch in this first stage of the World Cup. But so far, we have been entertained all the way from Nigeria. With this, we've come to the end of today's podcast. Thank you very much for taking out time from your busy schedule to listen out to the pod. Thank you, and enjoy the World Cup. We'll be back next week with further review, and I'm expecting an upset.
Yeah.
We've not yet
I've
seen
not
an
seen
upset yet.
yeah.
I'm expecting maybe DR Congo gives Portugal maybe a 2 goals. I don't know. Let's see. Or this night, Algeria wins Argentina, or Croatia beats England. I don't think that's an upset. But, England has really been going through a lot in this World Cup.
Wild wind,
from
pickpockets,
wild rains to tornado to robbery to everything. And so, yeah. So, thank you very much once again. Bye for now.